Welcome back to Go and Tell. We're back with another video, but before we get into the video, don't forget about the Cash App giveaway of $50. Winner will be announced June 1st. Like, subscribe, and leave Cash App in the comments. So we're back talking about Joe Budden. Man, he's had a bad week. Last week, at the end of the week, he got into a big controversial thing with firing two of his co-workers or friends or whatever you want to call it off his podcast, Mal and Rory. Then it got a little worse when Kevin Hart put his 2 cents in it. He said, I actually wasn't supportive of the progression of him and his podcast from afar. I'm a fan of your growth. I'm a fan of what you're doing and the conversation behind it. It's dope. He's not doing business here. He wants to own it. He wants to control it. And that's dope. But to see you publicly crap on the guys that was with you, that's an example of poor leadership. That's an example of why you are where you are. This is why. Here's the answer. Point blank. So after seeing all these comments, people saying he's a bad friend, he's a bad boss, he's a bad this, bad that, he felt a lot of pressure. So then he put out a statement. He says, seeing all this feedback and all this, I do need to apologize to Rory as well. Maybe Rory and Mal too, but definitely Rory. Then he went on to say things sound a lot spicier in the go out. Because when he first made it, he said it didn't sound as bad. But then after replay some time and after he kind of cooled down from him being mad at them, he said it felt pretty spicy. So he ended up apologizing. But guess what? That wasn't the end of his week. After he apologized, he kind of felt that it died down and he can get back to doing his podcast again. And then bam, Olivia Dope comes out and says, I'm going to let everybody know why I left his podcast. And if you watch my previous video, she went ahead and described that Joe Budden sexually harassed her while they were shooting a podcast. And they had footage of it. I've been seeing a lot of comments of maybe she was giving off a certain vibe. She was smiling, or it wasn't really sexual harassment. Regardless, if you go back and look at the video, it's kind of cringeworthy knowing how she said that she was feeling. But Joe did feel like he was wrong because he went out and put out a apology saying, as a podcaster, it is my job to address topics and create dialogue around them. During the conversation on Seeing the Thing is podcast, I didn't handle the topics with the sensitivity they deserved. I recognized my words and power in the situation created an upsetting environment for Olivia. Upon reflection, both the network and I take accountability for this. I apologize sincerely to Olivia, her former co-host, our staff, and the public. In the effort to not further any trauma, the episode will be removed from all platforms. We support all women's rights to feel comfortable and protected in the workplace. We fell short of that in this instance. We support Olivia in her quest to heal, applaud her for finding the strength to share her experience, and wish her the best in all her future endeavors. I'm taking the time to listen and learn. We have already begun to make necessary changes to ensure this is a safe environment for all moving forward. We at the network endeavor to continue to elevate Black women's voices and create opportunities to have constructive conversation to impact change. So he was forced to put out this statement because Olivia actually set it up to say, hey, if you're a woman, you shouldn't work with Joe. And that really would put a damper on Joe's career. So he had to clean this up. Do y'all think that he cleaned it up properly? Do you think that if you're a woman, you would never work with him? If you're a woman, you would never watch him again? Let me know how you feel in the comments. And until next time, deuce.